What's up, everybody? My name is Matthew Gargano. My students call me Professor G. I teach a number of business courses here at JCC, the best college in the universe. Today, everybody say today, I want to talk to you guys about time management. So, many people, turn to yourself and say self, many do, but I'm not in the many this time, really have either a misperception or a misunderstanding of what time is, and as a result, people don't fully utilize time appropriately, and therefore diminishes, productivity. I mean, I'm sure you hear yourself saying sometimes, man, there's just not enough hours of the day, or what did I do all day, and how does it seem like some people get more, sorry, I got a little something in my throat here, excuse me about that. Some people have more time than others. The reality is, we all have, and this is my first time in the light board, y'all, so I'm very excited to be able to write on this thing. I haven't written on this thing, but now I have a reason to. So we all have 24 hours in a day, right? 7 days a week. This is pretty cool, y'all. So we all get 168 hours a week, right? Whether you're the top executive of the largest firm in the world, or you are the person responsible for a 1 by 1 foot section, we all get equally 168 hours a week, okay? Time is no discriminator of persons, right? Time doesn't play favorites. We all have equal access to the same amount of hours a week. So why is it that so many people struggle with time? I'm glad you asked the question. Again, it goes back to a lack of understanding or a misunderstanding of what time really is, and then how to operate purposefully and effectively in time so you can be who you need to be and do what you were called to do most effectively. So I'm going to erase this now. Look, we're doing informal here, y'all. And for those of you who take my class, I'm very informal. So, I don't do the prim and proper stuff, right? We're in keep it real land here. So let's talk about, and I gotta say, this packs a little bit of weight on me too here, y'all, but I can't blame it totally on COVID. I got some COVID weight here, but I can't blame it 100% on COVID. So I gotta take responsibility. Speaking of time, put more time in at the gym. But anyway, let's talk about this quote for a minute. William Penn penned, pun intended, time is what we want most, but what we use worst. I want you to stop and think about that for a second, right? Because I'm sure you're nodding your head right now, right? Either inside yourself or in real time, speaking of time. Yeah, time is really what I want most, but I use it the worst. So why is that? Why is that? Well, once we have a accurate understanding, again, of time, it will begin to shift how you operate in time and your attitude towards time. I got to just keep the watch here too. I got to make sure, speaking of time, I stay under my time. So, what is time? That's why we're here, right? What is time? So, let's talk about what time is. Time is really a tool. That's the bottom line. Time is a tool. It is a tool that helps you manage the instances and events of your life. Here's the deal here, y'all. Time is either an employer or an employee. You can either choose to be employed by time and therefore your time's employee. So basically, time controls you and tells you what to do and what not to do. Or you can take control of time and you can be time's employer and time is your employee. But here's the thing, y'all. It's not something where if you ignore it, it's just going to go away. If you choose not to take control of your time, and if you choose not to be time's employer, then by default, time is going to become your employer, okay? So either you're going to manage time or time's going to manage you. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be managed by time. I'd rather manage time, okay? And here's the thing. It doesn't matter how you started. It doesn't matter if you started late, lacking, wrong, right, upside down, right side up. You can choose today, everybody say today, to get control over time. Don't wait another year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? Shoulda, woulda, coulda, doesn't live here. Gona's gone, right? So choose today to take control over time. Y'all with me? Just, even though I can't see you, I know you're with, I can feel it, right? All right. So, why don't most time management workshops work for people? Think about it. Most people, you ever know those people, they're like, look, I'm not minimizing y'all, I'm just keeping it real, but some folks, it seems like they are professional self-help people, right? They're the folks that have like 500 self-help books, right? But ain't nothing helped, right? Now, if that's you, don't feel some kind of way. Let that conviction rise up and say, I'm done with the self-help because I'm helping myself to do what I need to do and be who I need to be, right? So the reason why most time management systems don't work for people is because people view time management systems as a issue when really time management is a symptom of a deeper issue. I got to see what's on the next slide, y'all. Sorry about that. Woo! So, got to go back. I don't have my notes in front of me. So, that being said, think about this. I want to talk to you guys about the difference between an issue and a symptom. So, let's say, for example, I get a cut, right, and it gets infected. So, now it's all pussing and oozing and all kinds of craziness is coming out, right? The symptom is what's manifested on the surface, right? So if I continue to simply just, get some soap and water and wipe that off and slap a Band-Aid on it, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to keep oozing and pussing. Why? Because I'm dealing with the symptom rather than treating the actual issue that is causing the symptom. So until I get down in there and I treat the actual infection that is causing the symptom of the pus, that symptom is going to keep manifesting. I got to go down and deal with the root. I got to deal with the issue, right? Same thing. Too many people are not successful with time management systems because they're treating the systems as an issue to be solved when really the lack of time management in a person's life is merely a symptom of a deeper issue, okay? So that's number one. So we've got to change our attitude, our mentality towards why are we challenged in this area of time management? Because our lack of, or our inability, or our unwillingness to properly operate using time as a tool is a function of a deeper issue. Now some of y'all hear what I'm going to say right now, because some of y'all just take it, right? Just take it, receive it. It's good for you. How you value yourself manifests in how you value time. For some folks, that's hard to hear, right? So if you don't value time very much, then it's a symptom pointing back to how much do you really value yourself, okay? And so that could be an area of realization for some folks. So then some folks need to work on treating the issue, which is, I need to value myself more as a human being because I'm worth it. I need to value myself more so that I can step into the best version of myself that I can possibly be because I owe it to myself. And as you begin to value yourself more, the outward manifestation of that will be you will begin to value time more because your time is valuable because you're valuable. Okay? Very important here, y'all. Y'all with me? Okay. And I already talked about this, right? The solution or save all, right? When we're talking about an issue. I want to go back for 1 second too. So let me give y'all another example. Now, I don't know if anybody watches my 600-Pound Life. I love that show. I'm just making sure, speaking of time, I'm on time. I love my 600-Pound Life. I like Intervention. I like a lot of those shows. Why? Because I love seeing the human spirit overcome seemingly insurmountable things and odds. When I see somebody in Intervention that is tore up from the floor up, and it looks like there's only one way they're going and it's not good, and then to see that turnaround and that transformation, that's amazing to me. When I see that 600-pound life and that person is just, their quality of life is so diminished and they're brave enough to ask for that help and the transformation, the overcoming because of the human spirit, that's amazing to me. So I'm going somewhere with this, y'all. So I'm going to give you an example with treating a symptom as an issue versus an issue. So they had done studies in people who are overweight and have the bypass surgery, right? Where they actually go in and they take your stomach and they cut it all out except for like a little pocket, and then they reconnect some intestines. Well, what they have done is over a 10-year period, they followed folks who had the surgery, followed them for 10 years. They have found, because this is recorded and this could be timeless, I don't want to quote specific percentages because if you guys, people watch it a year from now, the percentages may be wrong, okay? So let me just say this to say, go Google the percentage of individuals after 10 years of having the bypass, or I don't know if it's called bypass or gastric surgery, but I just told you what they do. What percentage actually regain the weight that they lost or gain even more weight? It's high enough to be concerning. Okay, let me say this. So why is the reason? Because they're looking at the operation as an issue that they're addressing rather than looking at the operation as a symptom of a deeper issue, right? So that surgery is not going to fix the deeper issue. What could that deeper issue be? It could be low self-esteem. It could be trauma from the past, trauma from, different types of abuses. It could be a whole bunch of things. But the point is, the operation, viewing the operation as an issue that's going to be solved is only a temporary fix, just like that Band-Aid. Until you get down to deal with that root issue, the symptoms are going to keep coming back. They may subside for a while, but they're going to keep coming back, all right? So, again, that's why a lot of time management systems don't work for people, because you got to look at what the issue is, right? So, now let's talk about, I want to shift your mindset. Turn to yourself and say, self, we're ready to get shifted when shifting is good. So, how many times do we hear, and you probably say it yourself, I know I've said it, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. And, a lot of people wear that busy as a badge of honor. I'm so busy today, right? I had a busy week, right? Well, let me just say this. I don't want to be busy. I want to be productive. See, there's a difference. And it has to do with the mindset, right? A prosperity mindset says, I want to be productive because I want everything I do to line up with my purpose and my plan. I want everything I do, when I say everything, I'm talking about within the realm of reason. I mean, don't get crazy over it. I want the majority of what I do to be intentional, that I'm productive in the things that are going to further my plan and my purpose. who I was called to be and what I was called to do. Okay? That's important because when you are now thinking about productive versus busy, productivity says I am engaging in those activities that align with my goals and my vision and my mission. Okay? Busy is just you're spinning your wheels. And that's part of that alignment with time management and a proper attitude towards time. So you want to put down that busy and pick up your productive. It's all about the mind shift, right? You have to have a mind shift first. Because without that mind shift, which is part of the issue, then you're not going to be able to have the symptoms be corrected. Now here's the other thing, y'all. You need to treat time like you would a budget. It has been my experience on this earth for I'm probably as old as Methuselah, 150 plus years old. And Methuselah was like 900, but I'm about 150, right? So it's been my experience time after time after time, speaking of time, that if your money is a hot mess, your time is a hot mess. And if your time is a hot mess, then your money is a hot mess. There is a correlation between a person's finances and a person's time management. Why is that? Because most people don't treat time like a budget. And the people whose finances are a hot mess, and if that's you, let that conviction come up and get yourself on a good budget. How many people say, man, my finances are a mess? I'm like, okay, here's what you need to do. The first thing you need to do, and this is not like anything I came up with, this is just like common sense, wisdom and knowledge and good practice that's been around since forever. You got to start tracking for 2 weeks everything you spend, every receipt, everything you spend for 2 weeks, so you can have a better understanding of where your money is going. And then I don't have time for that. But you just told me your finances are a hot mess, right? You're tore up from the floor up. You're in debt to your eyeballs. You don't know where your money goes. And I'm telling you what you need to do, and you don't want to do that. So you're thinking you know better when you really don't, and the proof is in the pudding, right? Not trying to be, look, I'm going to keep it real because I care about people. And when Ms. Thorpe asked me to do this, I was very excited because I care about people, and this is a tool that will help revolutionize and change your life. Not only the tool, but if you catch a hold of what it is that you need to grasp regarding your mentality and attitude towards time. In fact, I'm so excited, I'm spitting all over the screen over here. I have to wipe it down afterwards. Anywho, so same thing with a budget. You make a budget because you have to know where your dollars are going. And you have to assign every dollar a name. Otherwise, those dollar bills go all over the place, right? And then you're like, where did my money go? Where did it go, right? Well, once you do a budget, you're determined like, dang, I spent too much money on the fast food, or too much money on the booze, or too much money on whatever, right? How are you supposed to know where your dollars are going if you're not tracking them? And then how do you keep them where they need to be if you don't assign every dollar a name? Same thing with time. You have to do a time budget, okay? And I'm going to talk briefly on this to get you started at the end, because this is something you could do on your own, all right? It's not about using time, it's about spending time. Just like dollars, right? In fact, let me do this right now. In fact, I'm going to do a different color. Let's do blue. Let's do Revelation blue, right? So just like dollars, right, we all get, like I said, 168 hours every single week. Just like you get your paycheck, right, and most of us have direct deposit, right? Our paycheck goes right in there. Now, for some folks, most of it comes out before it even gets in there, which is another reason for a budget. Think of your hours as your time bank. We all get the same deposit of 168 hours into our time bank. Little thing didn't go click. Into our time bank. In our time bank, we get an ACH direct deposit every week of 168 hours. How are you going to spend that time? See, it's not about using time. Using time is a busy mentality. Spending time is a productive mentality, right? So it's now, how are you going to spend your time according to your goals, which your goals feed into your vision, your goals feed into your mission, and your mission is what came out of your vision. You see what I'm saying? So do a time budget. And everything has to balance out to 168 hours. It's called zero budgeting, where you give every hour a name. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you don't have time for leisure and activities and kicking it and downtime. Of course, we all need that. But guess what? You budget that in as a budget item, right? Leisure time, family time, work time, school time, right? So in your time budget, you can do something in a simple, basic Excel spreadsheet, right? So you have your time expense, and you have amount, just like a budget, where your amount is the hours. So do the things that we all have in common, right? Sleep, right? Then you have, for some of you, it's work. Some of you, it's school. Some of you, it's both, right? Are there other activities that you have, right? Get that gym time in, or call it fitness. We should all at least be going for a walk if we can, right? You got family time, right? You have some of y'all have church, right? Some of y'all have volunteer, whatever that is. And then what you do is each week, and again, you put your own categories here. Leisure, right? Now for me, I like to keep my leisure and family, because as much as I love my family, I need my separate leisure time, right? So my point is, you need to think about how many hours a night. Now look, I'm going to keep it real. Some of y'all will be shocked to know I get a good 9 hours of sleep every single night. I'm in bed at 9, I'm up at 6 a.m. But let me tell you something. From 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., I am probably 3 times more productive. I probably get done more in one 15-hour day than most people get done in 3 days. Am I trying to be braggadocious? Absolutely not. It's just I've got a good grasp of time, and it takes discipline, right? So the first step is knowing what it is that you need to do, understanding that concept of time, doing your time budget, and then how are you going to put it into practice in discipline, right? So you want to add all this up. And again, your weekly budget should be zeroed out. If you got some extra time, then you need to better allot those time hours. Spend those hours wisely, okay? Because even then when you're doing leisure or family, you're not feeling guilty or bad about that because, hey, that's allotted time, right? Does that make sense? So again, as I talked about, there's a big correlation between, I'm looking at the time here, speaking of time, between money and time. If you squander money, you're going to squander time more than likely. If you squander time, you're going to squander money, right? So this is very important. Again, a lot of this is a mentality shift, right? Uh-oh. I don't want to break the board. Let's see here, y'all. We're all right? Good. Sorry, y'all. This is good enough. I don't want to take up too much time on this. I'll wipe it a little bit better later. Kind of looks cool, like a little revelation falling down on the screen, huh? So I want you to think to yourself. These are thought questions, right? I'm a big believer in when you are going to engage in something, right? You don't just leave it on the table and walk away, right? Thank you, sir. You all right? Look, that's all right, sir. We're informal here. Should I just spray this on the screen? Look, it's okay. We're keeping it real, so the people watching this know that we're real folks over here, right? Awesome. So it's like a buffet, right? I love Golden Corral buffet, right? So that being said, when you go to a buffet, you just don't. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm clean and crispy again. When you go to a buffet, you just don't look at all these different, you got a dessert station, you got a meat station, you got a salad station. You don't go and you got all these plates. You just don't go there and be like, I'm not gonna eat anything. No, of course that would be crazy, right? You get your food, you put it on the plate, and you nourish yourself. It's the same thing when you're endeavoring in things. What can you take away? See, learning and takeaway are different. I could learn something, But if I don't take it off the shelf, I'm not taking anything away. Once you take that learn off the shelf and you allow it to nourish you and you start to operate in that new knowledge, now it's a takeaway. So this is a reflection question. You need to really think about what are your struggles with time? Because if you can't identify your struggles, how are you supposed to overcome them, right? And then time thieves, right? What are time thieves? Oh, I think I misspelled a word, but that's all right. We're all learning and growing. What time thieves? Time thieves are, I'll give you something to help you out. Procrastination is a time thief, right? It's a thief that comes to steal your time. Procrastination, right? Low self-confidence, feeling overwhelmed, right? All these things are time thieves, and there could be more. Fear. Most people are not afraid of failure. They're afraid of success. So think about these time thieves, right? Now, I talked a little bit already ahead of time, so this is a little bit of review and a little bit extra, right? Because we coming up on 30 minutes, I believe. So view time like a budget. That's review, right? You want to stop using time and spending time, right? We're reviewing now. What tools? I already talked, right? The Excel spreadsheet. You can make a Word document and calendaring. Once you make that Excel spreadsheet and you put your allotment of how you're going to spend your time and assign every hour a name, now you translate it into a calendar system. Look, my calendar, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. I am driven in my productivity responsibilities based on my calendar, period. Very important, because that will help tether you to the tasks at hand. And then the end of the day, you'll no longer be like, what did I do today? Because that calendar will prove you out. And be kind to yourself, right? I mean, start working on, let me try to do 50%, then 60, then 70. None of us is perfect. None of us gets 100%, right? If you're in the 85, 95% range, you're doing good. You're doing real good. Also, too, I have a podcast called One Word Breakthrough, because sometimes all it takes is just one word to break you through in that area so that you can get the victory over that. I keep them to 20 minutes because I'm horrified to learn that nowadays the average adult attention span is 20 minutes, which is horrifying. So I keep these to 20 minutes. But anyway, you can go. There's a lot of bite-sized knowledge nuggets that you can take off the shelf and apply to your life from a practical standpoint. I'm on a lot of different platforms, so you can find me at One Word Breakthrough. Just a little extra help. Now, that being said, y'all, now y'all are ready, right? Y'all are going to go ready to master time. And speaking of time, thank you for yours today.